Hello and welcome back. In the last episode, we found ourselves on a golf course that looked exactly as a golf course would in California, and it ended up being in Abu Dhabi, pretty much on the other end of the world. Tough loss, but it's not my fault, it's their fault for building everything to look exactly like anywhere else in the world. No local flavor, no flavor whatsoever. A boring golf course, a dumb mistake, and I'm looking forward to the next trip. Alexa, cancel timer. Alexa, start the timer for 10 minutes. This is more interesting, but probably equally as hard. Very open space, very open area. I don't yet know where we are, and I can't decide which way to go, but I'll have to go somewhere, and hopefully I'll move quickly, many frames at a time. This is the kind of episode where my friend who's advising me on the series would have me either tell something informative or cut out the boring parts and let people get to the end quicker. Whatever, I haven't figured out how to do it yet. If every episode is 3 minutes, beginning and end, then I don't know what the point is. I mean, this is an experience of taking 10 minutes to figure out, based on subtle and not so subtle clues, where in the world you are. Um, would it work in the real world as well as it does in Google Street View / Wonder app? Maybe it would. Of course, I don't know who would be challenged with that kind of task in real life, in real world. What kind of born identity scenario it would have to be. Somebody losing their memory, their mind, their bearings, and not knowing where they are or why. But Jason Bourne found his way pretty easily and beat up a bunch of people in the process. So can we. A lot of cows. Can this be, for example, Britain? Sure. Can it be South America? Sure. Maybe that farm, rather than talking about Jason Bourne, we could have tried to investigate it a little bit closer, but it was a bit far and blurry. There was nothing to be seen. I'd say South America before Europe. It would help to see a car or a language. Let's say the language is Spanish. Then we have to start thinking about a place like Argentina, or I think most South American countries have a thriving ranching or cattling industry, whatever it's called, beef growing industry. So it can be Argentina. What else is there? Paraguay, Peru. But I'm jumping ahead because I haven't seen the language, and it's very hard to go without the language. Somebody said the red dirt on the side of the street was a dead giveaway for Australia. And then I said, what about Africa? And they said, yes, sure, could be South Africa as well. I think it's the same red dirt. I think this could be Australia again. Having a car drive on the left would be a huge help. And for sure, they have cattle galore and open spaces everywhere. I think the first car we encounter, and the faster we go, the better the chances. The first car we encounter, or the first sign, English or Spanish, will be a giant help. Can it be Africa? Probably not. A bit too green for Africa. Not that grass doesn't grow in Africa. It's just what we've seen so far is a little more earth tones, and I don't just mean the red dirt, but the yellow grass. So Australia can be an early favorite just because Australia is one and South America. I have to think between a bunch of countries and make a wild guess. And if my viewer is right about red dirt being a good good sign for Australia, then he gets credit for teaching me that. The road ran out. That's never good. I don't want to go back. It's boring, and we will not see much. I'll say Australia, and it can't be any worse than my calling Abu Dhabi, United States. Hmm. Well, I did say South Africa, as in I don't think it's South Africa. So that's two losses, and confirms the short conversation we had in the comments that the red dirt is in South Africa as well as in Australia. Lesson learned, loss taken, two in a row. Let's see if we can get out of a rut. Let's drop a bookmark and do one more, see if we do any better.